do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. James Allen. Mind is the master. Your beliefs build your reality. They told you reality is fixed, that life is something you observe, not something you build, that you are a passenger subject to chance, fate, and circumstance. But that is a lie passed down by the fearful, a lie whispered by those who gave up on their dreams long before they ever gave them life. And the truth is this: your beliefs are the architects of your world. Look around. Every structure, every invention, every miracle of human progress began not in the hands, but in the mind. The bridge was belief before it was steel. The light bulb was faith before it was filament. The airplane was vision before it was lift. Edison did not stumble into greatness by accident. He believed in a world where light would flow from glass, where darkness could be commanded by the hand of man. And that belief didn't merely inspire him, it moved him. Through failure, through mockery, through 10,000 attempts. Because he wasn't chasing success, he was following belief. And belief is fire. It burns through limitation. It consumes doubt. It lights the path that no one else can see until you walk it. You've been taught to measure reality by what is. But everything that is today was once only belief. The skyscraper was fantasy. The cure was a guess. The empire was a dream. So tell me, what dream are you refusing to believe in? The mind is not a container. It is a furnace. What you feed it, it transforms. If you feed it fear, it produces hesitation. Feed it faith, and it produces miracles. But here is the tragedy. Most people don't feed their minds. They let the world do it for them. They accept the opinions of others as truth. They mistake failure for fate. They let doubt take root where destiny should have lived. And the moment you allow someone else to define your limits, you no longer live by belief. You live by permission. Understand this. Belief is not some soft whisper of hope. It is command. It is declaration. It is the voice that says, I will, even when the world says I can't. And in that moment, reality begins to bend. Because reality is not just bricks and matter. It is response. It responds to your thoughts. It bends to your focus. It yields to your certainty. Carnegie believed he could create wealth not just for himself, but for millions. Not because he had the tools, but because he had the mindset. And with that mindset, he became more than a man. He became a force, not because the world gave him permission, but because his belief gave him command. You must choose what to believe, not based on what's real, but based on what's possible. If you wait for certainty, you'll wait your entire life. If you wait for the path to be clear, you'll die with your song unsung. The mind does not operate on logic alone. It is fed by vision. And vision is nothing more than belief with eyes. So the question is, what do you see when your eyes are closed? That is the blueprint of your becoming. Clarity begins when you stop worshipping the visible, when you stop chasing validation, when you start asking not what is, but what could be if I believed hard enough, long enough, with enough relentless certainty that the world had no choice but to yield. Do not forget, you are the gatekeeper of your thoughts. You are the sculptor of your own identity. Every time you say, I am, you are casting the mold of your future. I am disciplined. I am unstoppable. I am the one who builds what others only talk about. These aren't affirmations. They are instructions. Your subconscious listens. It obeys. And the more conviction you speak with, the faster it builds the reality you command. But speak with doubt, and doubt is what you inherit. Say, "I can't," and your mind shuts the door. Say, "It's impossible," and it becomes so, not because it was, but because you said it. Henry Ford once said, "Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right." He wasn't being poetic, he was being precise, because belief is the root of all creation, and disbelief is the seed of decay. So ask yourself, what would your life look like if you believed in your vision the way others believe in their limitations? What would your actions look like if you acted as if success was inevitable, not possible, but unavoidable? You were not made to live in the shadow of someone else's fear. You were not made to shrink so others feel comfortable. You were made to expand, to rise, to build the world you see inside. But belief without action is fantasy, and action without belief is struggle. You must carry both, belief in your soul and fire in your hands. When those two meet, destiny is no longer a mystery. It becomes a plan. Let the world call you crazy. They called Tesla mad. They called Disney delusional. They said flight was impossible until it wasn't. They said the moon was unreachable until footprints proved otherwise. Every great leap in history was laughed at until it was lived. So let them laugh. Let them doubt. Let them criticize your obsession, your pace, your vision. While they argue over what's realistic, you'll be building what they said was impossible. And when the dust settles, when the mountain is climbed, and the world asks you how you did it, you won't point to talent or luck or circumstance. You'll say 4 words. I believed I could. Belief is not given. It is chosen. It's forged in silence. When no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when no one is there to reassure you that you're on the right path. It's forged in moments of doubt, not by erasing the doubt, but by standing taller in the face of it. Because belief is not the absence of fear. It is the refusal to obey it. The greatest minds in history were not fearless. They were relentless. Abraham Lincoln faced loss after loss, failed businesses, political defeat, personal tragedy, yet still he rose. Why? Because he believed in a purpose greater than pain, a vision of unity, a destiny not yet visible to the world but alive inside him. And you hold that same power, that same divine spark, but only if you awaken it. Only if you silence the noise and turn inward to the quiet voice that says, I was made for more than this. Belief demands that you stop outsourcing your identity, that you stop looking to the crowd to define your worth, that you stop waiting for signs and become the signal. You are not a follower of fate. You are a maker of it. Most people are trapped in mental prisons built from the bricks of their own assumptions. They don't test their limits. They assume them. They don't build new paths. They walk the ones that were handed to them, paved by fear, lined by mediocrity, and guarded by comfort. But comfort is the enemy of belief, because belief requires movement. It requires leaving the shore, not knowing if you'll reach land, but trusting that wings will grow on the way down. It requires action before evidence, commitment before reward. That is the essence of faith. Not blind faith, but visionary faith. The kind that says, I will move forward because I believe, not because it is safe. That is how leaders are born. That is how legacies are built. Do you think Steve Jobs had proof that the world would follow him? Number, he had belief in something others couldn't see yet. He believed that people don't just buy products, they buy into purpose. And so he built from that belief, not just a company, not just devices, but a movement. And what about you? Are you still waiting for certainty? Still collecting reasons not to try? Still listening to people who have never done what you dream of doing? Let me make this clear. You will never outperform your belief system. You may hustle, you may grind, you may burn the candle at both ends. But if deep down you don't believe you're worthy of greatness, you'll sabotage every step, you'll undercharge, you'll hesitate, you'll play small. Because the mind does not tolerate contradiction. And if your actions scream power but your beliefs whisper weakness, weakness wins. That's why the work begins within, not on the surface, not in strategies, but in the depths of your subconscious, where your self-image was carved by years of repetition. If you want to change your world, change your default thoughts. Not the thoughts you post, not the ones you speak when you're feeling inspired, the ones that echo in silence, the ones you repeat when you fail, the ones you hear when you wake up and look in the mirror. That is where the shift happens. And make no mistake, it is not easy. To uproot years of limiting beliefs, to kill the voice of the inner critic you've confused for truth, to rise above your past. But easy is not the point. Transformation is. To become someone new, you must think like someone new. You must rehearse greatness in your mind until it becomes your instinct. Visualize the version of you who has already won. Not once, not twice, but until the image burns itself into your subconscious like scripture. Because repetition is the language of belief. And identity is shaped not by one thought, but by the thoughts you repeat. Discipline is belief in motion. It's the daily ritual of proving to yourself that you are who you say you are. It's showing up when no one claps. It's pushing when the results haven't arrived yet. It's choosing growth over comfort, again and again and again. Too many people say, "I'll believe it when I see it." But the truth is, you'll see it when you believe it. Because belief shifts your lens. And once your lens changes, everything you see follows. Opportunities you missed become obvious. Solutions you never considered become natural. Paths you assumed were closed open up, because now you are aligned with who you are becoming. So stop arguing for your limitations. Stop defending your doubts. Stop identifying with your past. You are not the story you were given. You are the author, and you can rewrite the script right now. Belief is not found in books. It is decided, and every day you decide, will I believe in excuses or execution? Will I believe in comfort or calling? Will I believe in probability or possibility? Because here is the final truth. Your reality is not built by your effort alone. It is built by your belief. And effort is simply the evidence of that belief in action. Your belief is your permission slip to live the life most people will never touch. Not because it isn't available to them, but because they never claimed seed. The universe responds not to need, but to certainty. Not to desperation, but to identity. It doesn't give you what you wish for. It reflects what you believe you are worthy of. That's why people with lesser talent often rise above those with more skill, because talent without belief is wasted. But belief without limits, that's unleashed potential. Think about it. The Wright brothers had no aviation degrees, no blueprints, no investors, no public support. But they had a belief that man was not made to crawl, that he could rise. And with that belief, they defied gravity and gave flight to the impossible. Do you understand what that means? It means the laws that govern your life are not only physical, they are psychological. Break the mental law, and the physical world must follow. The man who believes he will win sees every setback as a setup. He sees rejection as redirection. He sees failure as formation, because he knows where he's going, even when the rest of the world hasn't caught up. Belief is what lets you keep going when logic tells you to stop, when the bank account is low, when the support vanishes, when the results haven't arrived. Belief doesn't ask for evidence, it creates it. Let me speak clearly to your soul. You do not need another strategy. You do not need a guru. You need to believe deeply, unapologetically. To look at yourself in the mirror and say, "This is who I am now. Not who I was, not who they said I'd be, but who I've decided to become." Because belief is a decision, a line in the sand, a moment where you stop waiting for signs and start becoming one. And that belief will be tested. It must be. Mountains don't bow to empty words. They move only for those who refuse to stop climbing. You will be doubted. You will be laughed at. You will be misunderstood. But if you are anchored, if your roots go deep enough, the storm will only make you stronger. You see, reality isn't static. It's a mirror, and your reflection depends on the signal you send. If you walk through life believing you're small, undeserving, broken, that's what life will reflect. But when you walk as if you were born for this, when your eyes speak conviction, when your voice holds certainty, when your actions scream, "I am already the person I intend to become," then life has no choice but to meet you there. That's why vision matters. Not just having one, but living in it, breathing it, seeing it so clearly that it becomes more real than your current circumstance. So when the world shows you lack, you don't buy into it. When people tell you it can't be done, you don't hear it, because your belief is louder, your future is louder. Gratitude is part of this too, because belief doesn't just focus on what's missing, it magnifies what's already working. You want to shift your reality. Start by seeing the abundance around you right now, not in your bank account, in your mindset, not in your possessions, in your perspective. Gratitude is the fuel that makes belief sustainable. Because when you're grateful for what is, you become magnetic for what's next. And adaptability, that's belief in motion. It says, even if the path changes, the destination remains the same. It says, I don't need guarantees, I need guts. It allows you to pivot, to evolve, to absorb change without being broken by it. Because belief isn't rigid, it's resilient, it bends, it adjusts, but it never disappears. This is why resilience is so rare, because most people confuse belief with ease. They think that if they're on the right path, it should feel good. But the right path doesn't always feel good. It feels true. And truth demands sacrifice. It demands discomfort. It demands discipline. Discipline is proof to yourself that you believe in your future more than your feelings. That you're willing to trade temporary pleasure for permanent progress. That you don't just wish to succeed, you plan to. And then execute that plan with relentless intent. You're not here to flirt with greatness. You're here to marry it, to wake up each day and recommit to your vision, to stop entertaining versions of yourself that no longer serve your purpose, to stop negotiating with mediocrity. Because belief is not passive, it's not soft, it's not a dream catcher, it is war. War against the old self, war against distraction, laziness, doubt and delay, war against the small thoughts that try to pull you back into average. And you fight that war not with violence, but with vision, with clarity, with alignment. Because when your inner world is aligned, your outer world will follow. Every breakthrough begins with a belief that refuses to die. Not a belief handed to you by the world. Not a belief given by family, by school, by circumstance, but one you forge yourself. A belief that says, "This life is mine, and I will shape it by will." The world doesn't belong to the lucky. It belongs to the relentless, to the ones who rise when they shouldn't, to the ones who keep going long after they've been told to quit, to the ones who believe in what they haven't yet seen and act like it's already done. Because belief is creation, and all creation starts in the invisible. The greatest inventions, the most iconic masterpieces, the most unshakable legacies, they began as visions, thin air, a whisper, a flicker in the soul. But someone believed in that flicker, long enough, hard enough, consistently enough, until it became fire. And that fire, that belief, builds reality. You want wealth? Don't just chase money. Become someone who believes in abundance, who sees value, creates value, multiplies value. The millionaire doesn't become rich by accident. They become rich because they believe differently. They believe in leverage, in service, in scale, in possibility. And that belief informs every decision, every investment, every risk. You want success? Don't just mimic behavior, adopt the mindset. Because belief is the root, and all action is just the fruit. If you plant fear, you'll grow hesitation. If you plant doubt, you'll grow excuses. But plant belief, and you'll grow results. You want purpose? Then stop asking for permission to live loud. You're not here to blend in. You're here to break patterns, to shatter generational ceilings, to rise so that others can rise with you. But that rise starts with belief, the kind that says, "I am not here to survive. I am here to lead, to build, to transcend." You think belief is just a mental thing? Number. It lives in your posture, in how you walk into a room, in how you speak about your dreams, in how you handle loss, pressure, delay. It's in your habits, your tone, your eye contact. Belief doesn't whisper. It moves through you. And if you're not there yet, good. Because now you get to build it, brick by brick, thought by thought, habit by habit. Belief is trainable, but only if you choose it daily. Not when it's convenient, but especially when it's not. The truth is, you are not waiting on a breakthrough. Your breakthrough is waiting on you, waiting for you to believe at a level that makes the old you uncomfortable, waiting for you to act in alignment with a destiny that feels too big for your current self. Because that's how growth works. It demands that you become someone you haven't been yet, so you can live a life you've never known. Your beliefs are architects, your thoughts are builders, and your actions are the bricks. You can build a prison, or you can build a palace, but either way you are building, every day, every moment. And when you finally accept that, when you take full ownership, you become unshakable. So stop waiting. Stop playing small. Stop looking for proof and become it. Let your life be the evidence. Let your results be the echo of your belief. Because the world doesn't respond to maybe. It moves for the one who knows, the one who walks with fire in their eyes and a vision carved into their soul. Your beliefs build your reality, so believe boldly. Believe like your life depends on it, because it does. And once that belief becomes your standard, there is nothing that can stop you. Not time, not doubt, not failure, not fear. Because once belief is fully activated, you become inevitable.